Splitgate 2 doesn't know whether it wants to be an arena shooter or a battle royale. For those of you unfamiliar with the Splitgate IP, it's pretty much a love child between Halo and Portal. It's Portal with guns. And for an amazing launch to this game, you can head over to their shop and purchase a brand new Portal skin for $34 US, as well as a game bundle for $80 US. When the fanbase kicked up a fuss about this, their chief excuse officer came out and said, actually, I'm incompetent and I don't know what goes on in my own company. No, really, he said that they had some Call of Duty monetization manager they fired recently, and these two things slipped through the cracks when it came to pricing. Really, they slipped through the cracks. A major bundle and the only Portal skin pricing slipped through the cracks. I mean, you're either lying or you're very incompetent, and it's only one of those two things. He did lower the price and refund those who purchased the items before the price change, but I'm not going to reward mediocrity here. So now I've got a couple of gripes with this game, so let's just start off by talking about the things I like about this game before I tear it a new asshole. The gunplay is fast-paced and fun. Zipping around the battlefield and fast portaling to jump behind your enemy and melee them in the back with your gun, the game gives you plenty of opportunities to get some hero moments when you manage to sneak a portal behind the enemy, and it's satisfying to be able to shoot them in the back while you're safe, most of the time. For all of its drawbacks, the Battle Royale is a fast game. There isn't this feeling of spawning in, looting for 20 minutes, and then dying to some sweaty sniper in an adult diaper. You're probably going to find some action when you land, and if not, you'll find it within the first few minutes. There's no single player mode for it, only pre-made or match-made 4-player. If you die because you're shit at shooting games, then your friends don't have to play the rest of the game without you. As long as one person is alive, the whole team can come back if they aren't in combat. I'm going to move on to my main gripe about this game, which happens to be everyone's favourite aspect about this game. People really need to stop and think. You have deathmatch, team deathmatch, arena mode, and in arena mode you have gun game, fiesta, split ball, domination, firecracker, hot zone, king of the hill, takedown, not to mention all of the custom game modes you can run servers for. I want to talk about the first Splitgate for a second. This game had a meteoric rise in 2021, within the first 2 months having a peak concurrent player base of 67,000. And then losing over 90% of that player base 3 months later with a concurrent player base of 5,000, which only continued to slip from there. Some of the big things that went wrong were the fact that there was this massive skill gap between the people who are Twitch shooters and those who learn to harness the power of the portals. It's like playing Fortnite, but some sweat starts building. When players started mastering this new mechanic, it led to a massive gap in the skill between people who were just Twitch shooting and those who knew how to use the portals. Now back to talking about those issues with there being lots of different game modes. The problem when you introduce a lot of different game modes is that you split your player base. Some people exclusively like Split Ball, and others exclusively like King of the Hill, and there are others that are just there for the Battle Royale. It doesn't take a genius to figure out this is going to lead to people who start queuing up for an arena game and then queue dodging when they get the game mode they don't want. And I know what you're thinking.
But Witlash, they can just queue up for a custom game.
And you're right. They can do that. They won't. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. They can do that, they just won't. So you're going to get queue dodging. Now look, Halo was a great game back in the day, and Quake was a great game back in the day, but the most important part of that statement is back in the day, back when there was no competition in the market. Nowadays, companies have spent millions of dollars mapping out the human brain to see what exactly makes you play, and more importantly to the gaming companies, pay. Arena shooters just don't have the mass appeal that they used to back in the day, and looking at the Steam charts we can already see it's on a downward trend, peaking at 25,000 concurrent players, and now having daily peaks of just 15 to 16,000 players just 10 days after its full launch. It really looks like Splitgate 2 is going the same way as its first game. The more people that drop off, the longer the queue times are going to be, and the more queue dodging we're going to get because there is a smaller pool of people who want a different game mode. We're headed for a deathmatch by the end of this year, if not earlier, and if you disagree with me then you can let me know in the comments why I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Now don't get me wrong, games can survive with just a few thousand players. I've been getting back into Chivalry 2 lately and the game only has 3,000 concurrent. Mind you, it's only worth playing during peak hours. I feel like this is a game and a franchise that got its $100 million originally from the people who were blinded by nostalgia. They then took that $100 million to make game number 2, which has seen much less of an uptake than the first game. This is a classic example of thinking the first one sold well, so the second one will sell well, without taking into account that sales numbers are only a successful indicator of marketing and concept. They aren't the metrics you use for player sentiment, and these devs don't seem to have even bothered looking at the player sentiment. People are gonna hate this video. They're gonna call me me and my mother bad names in the comments, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have the last laugh in December, where the only conversation being had about this game are desperate, sweaty Reddit threads asking, why is no one playing this game anymore, with a surprised Pikachu face. If you don't subscribe to my channel, I'm going to not wash my feet for a week. That is a threat. Bye.